I'm Barry Funkhauser, and this is the Barry Funkhauser Show. Here's what's up. A polar vortex is bringing sub-zero temperatures to the Northeast. A man who allegedly left a dead fish at the Goonies house has been rescued from rough seas. And how much is too much edibles? As always, I'm here with my co-host and general know-it-all current events guy, Joe. Joe, did you stay away from the crypto.com arena this weekend? Because, boy, they shut down the streets. And it was the 50th year anniversary of hip-hop, so they did a big thing on the streets for the Grammys. Did you watch it?
No. I don't watch award shows. I know that they're important for the industry and things like that, but no. I make it a point to not watch award shows.
Well, I don't think you missed anything this time. I'm trying to think.
What year? I know it was the 50th anniversary of hip hop. I don't know. I guess LL Cool J just like decided it was the 50th anniversary, so it was.
No. So
no, that's not how it happened. Yeah.
Questlove created a long melody of all the hip hoppers from the beginning of time. I think chronologically. Yeah. And it was, of all things to watch, that would be the one thing that the takeaway, and the Jay-Z thing at the end, I believe. But
sure, but who decided that it was the 50th anniversary of hip hop? Like, who decided hip hop started this year in 1972? That's when hip hop started.
I don't know, man. I didn't check the records, but I'm just taking them as fact because they're the Grammys. They must know when.
Nope. I don't take things. I need facts. Give me my facts. Why?
You can ask LL Cool J if you want.
I'm gonna ask LL. I like LL.
But the big thing was last night. The big thing was Beyonce is now a record holder. She won more Grammys than anyone of all time. She's an all-time Grammy Award winner.
I think she deserves it. She is a very, very talented performer and entertainer, and she does write some of her songs, so it's not like she's just an entertainer. She is also making some of the music, so very involved. I think that I am fine with this. I am good with Beyonce winning. Like I said, she is very talented.
Yeah, but she got robbed at the end because Harry.
Oh well,
won.
Everybody always says that she gets robbed at the end, but I don't think Renaissance is a fantastic album. But I really do feel, and I felt like this for a long time, the album of the year needs to be accessible to everybody. Everybody. You know, it's
mass appeal, you're saying.
Mass appeal. If it might, she won in like some R&B and dance categories and things like that. Some of the tech stuff, like that's great, but it needs to be far-reaching, and I don't like Renaissance. Incredible album, just like Lemonade was an incredible album. Does it reach out to the masses? And in this year, I don't think so. That Harry Styles album, Harry's House, it is everywhere. It gets played on every type of radio station across the world. It gets played on adult contemporary. It gets played on alternative radio. It gets played on 88.5 plays it, and they're
don't forget about TikTok. Station. It's all over TikTok and social media.
Well, sure, but everything's all over TikTok and social media. But seriously, it's like it is an accessible album, and it's pop friendly, but it's good. I enjoy a lot of the songs off that album, and you know me, I'm not one to really be like a huge pop fan, but it's catchy and it's
Harry makes me feel like his real name is Gary. Gary makes me feel like I could wear overalls. I could wear overalls.
Oh no, man! We were looking at the fashion. My wife and I were looking at the fashion stuff this morning, and man, those overalls that Harry was wearing were awful. They're terrible.
Oh, I'm into it.
Not a good look.
Very efficient out in the garden.
Oh, no, one of the big things in the garden, I can see that. One of the funny things about Harry that actually came out in the, I think it was the New York Times story this morning, is one of his album tracks just offhandedly mentions the Beechwood Cafe. Have you ever been to the Beechwood Cafe in Los
Not that I can
Angeles?
recall. Maybe 100 years ago.
Okay, so Beechwood Canyon is the canyon that you take right below the Hollywood sign. So when the Hollywood sign was first put in place, it first read Hollywood Land. And it was an advertisement for a housing development on Beechwood Canyon. So you drive up Beechwood Canyon, you go up the canyon for about a mile. And it's a really, really cute little neighborhood. So about a mile in, you get a intersection of a few streets, right? And right there, you have like some shops. You got like a dry cleaner. You got your local grocery store. You got like a coffee shop. And then you got this little breakfast lunch place called the Beechwood Cafe. And it's a cute little place. They do great, great French toast. Well, Harry Styles mentioned Beechwood Cafe in an album track that wasn't released as a single, and Beechwood Cafe has blown up. You cannot reserve a table at this place now because Harry Styles ate there one time and mentioned it in a song.
Nice. Well, that's how it's supposed to go, man. That's great. You know, anytime Harry Styles farts, it trends on Twitter. So,
it's fine. And like I said, I'm okay with Harry. I don't like the whole.
I like that his name's Gary. I do like that.
You're like his name is not Gary. Stop
it! Really is. I swear, it's Gary. That's what they said on the gram. His real name's Gary. Is my friend. His name's Gary.
I'm not calling him Gary Styles. It'll be Harry Styles. So anyway, no, I didn't watch. I just read some recaps of some things. I'll probably go and watch the Questlove tribute. I love the Roots, so they were like
and watch the end too. The end's good too.
The end with Jay-Z.
Yeah, because DJ Khaled put on an 8-minute song, and it was really good. So
was it another one? And another one?
Is what it's
and
called.
Another one?
No, he's got a new he's got a new catchphrase now. It's God did.
No, I don't like that one.
And you might after the 8-minute performance. All right, let's get to some news today, huh?
All right.
A polar vortex has descended over the Northeast, bringing sub-zero wind chills from New York to Maine. It's scary. Listen.
The brutal cold came in with a fury. In Oswego, New York, frigid temperatures and howling winds blew in overnight, creating hazardous conditions. But it's New England that will feel the brunt of a polar vortex, bringing double-digit wind chills. In Boston, where the city has already declared a cold weather emergency, the deep freeze has forced school closures. At a city park, hats and gloves were left for anyone who needed them.
If someone's outside for a long period of time, definitely dangerous.
Across the city, dozens of warming centers have opened in preparation for temperatures that feel as cold as 33 below zero. But the misery will be shared. Wind chills could plunge to 15 below in New York City, 40 below in Burlington, Vermont, and 60 below in northern Maine by Saturday morning. Still, those temperatures are balmy in comparison to the top of New Hampshire's Mount Washington, the highest peak in the Northeast. Tonight, fierce wind chills could drop as low as 107 degrees below zero, with hurricane-force wind gusts up to 140 miles per hour. In the South, states are beginning to thaw. This week's massive ice storm led to at least 11 deaths, dangerous road conditions, and downed power lines. In Texas, over 200,000 customers are still without power.
Our focus remains on getting power back on, clearing debris from roads, and helping everyone in our city return to normal.
Just about every corner of New England will be below zero at some point, with records expected to be smashed, including one set nearly 140 years ago.
So, Joe, it's safe to say that everywhere but here is awful weather-wise. Because today I had a beautiful day outside. It was gorgeous for the first time in a long time. And I was out frolicking around. And meanwhile, over there on the East Coast, another reason to never move to the East Coast, because negative 107 degree winds is not something dead-eyed. But look at our crazy people. We're at plus 120 out there in desert center, so it's probably just as extreme on the other angle over here. They probably look at us, go, you guys crazy in the heat. But
please no. Like, I was just talking to my friend who lives out in outside of New York City, and I was like, like you pay comparable rent to what I pay in Los Angeles, but I don't have to deal with 10-degree or 0-degree weather. It totally makes it totally makes sense for me to live in Los Angeles. I'm like, no to the cold.
Yeah.
It's like, it is absolutely worth it. The cost of living is really high here, but then a polar vortex comes down and like basically freezes everybody. All of our Canadian friends in Manitoba and Saskatchewan, they're all frozen. Like, they are Olaf from Frozen right now. And we're all sitting out here going to the beach and surfing. So,
and you know what they have to do when it's freezing cold? They got to turn on their gas and use gas, and the prices go up. There goes your bill again. Tick-tock.
But I thought that the U.S. government was going to outlaw all gas stoves, which is not happening.
Fine.
It's not happening. But yes, I understand. Yeah, the your power bills are going to look crazy next month because of these negative degree temperatures that like Boston is seeing. Like, what's the wind chill in Boston right now?
Negative 5,000 degrees. I don't know.
Oh, that's really, really
It's
cold.
really cold. It's too cold to even count at this point, Like, who even wants to go outside? You got to go to work in this,
Oh,
You got to deliver Amazon in this.
Oh, you gotta be a trash collector in this.
You
Oh,
gotta
man,
you
that would
gotta
be
do
terrible.
things in this. This is terrible. So
I know. So wait, so do we blame Canada because the polar vortex comes from like the Northwest Territory and down into the Great Plains and the East Coast? Like, who do we blame? Can we blame somebody?
I'm gonna blame
Can we blame Greenland.
I'll tell you who exactly. I'll blame Graham Hancock. You know who that is? He instigated fear into me because I binge watched this thing on Netflix called Ancient Armageddon.
Oh man, don't go down that rabbit hole. No.
So I think it's the ice melting again, climate change. No, I don't.
Is this the one where like aliens came and like made the pyramids and stuff?
No. This is really interesting, man. And they're all half-hour episodes, but without spoiling, do you want me to spoil it for you? I guess I could.
Go for it.
It's ancient history. So this guy believes that there was a civilization before the pyramids that got washed out in a flood created by a comet. And then there was a select few members of this advanced civilization that then went around the country teaching the ways.
The globe, right? Yeah, no, I don't buy it.
And that's why everything is similar in places, and there are certain connections. I don't know. I didn't ask you to believe it.
Don't buy it.
It was an interesting.
Don't buy it. Don't buy it.
Okay.
No, it's actually, we have in human history, it has been proven that similar ideas kind of sprung up around the same time, not because of some advanced civilization from the Battlestar Galactica that
from here, man. From here,
Neanderthals. Yeah, sure. I'm sure that they believe it.
Well, you know what?
There is nothing in the geological record that states that there was an advanced civilization before the advent of humans coming out of Mesopotamia. No, I don't.
Well, I personally found it interesting. I don't know if you can think.
Sure, if you like, sure. It sounds like great sci-fi, Barry.
Yeah, you should give it a chance, man. Give it a chance.
But it's not based in historical fact. It's just bullshit speculation.
I don't think you can speak on it till you see it.
All right, fine. You know what? You know what a program that I've really enjoyed that actually is based in fact? Check out History 101 on Netflix.
Okay.
So much fun.
Okay.
So much fun. Just like you were taking, it's a half-hour episodes, and they take just little bits of history and they tell you about it, and it's fantastic. Really, they connect all the dots to the present. It's a great program. So
Okay.
yeah, we me, Linda and I, we binge like basically every documentary or news or history program that comes out. So that is one that I recommend.
All right. Well, today's show is brought to you by
Wolf Tracks, unleash the love. Do a good deed for dogs. Walking with the free Wolf Tracks app helps you earn for your favorite animal charity. Download the Wolf Tracks app, start walking with your best friend, and unleash the love for all dogs.
All right, more news on the Barry Funkhauser Show. The U.S. Coast Guard rescued a man from rough waters moments after the yacht he'd been on capsized, and later found it was the same guy who was accused of leaving a dead fish at the Goonies house. Here's more.
The treacherous conditions on the Columbia are the very reason the Coast Guard trains here. And training is exactly what they were doing when crews received a mayday signal from this boat.
It was kind of fitting that there was a case at the end of the week in the circumstances and environment that we had trained.
Due to the dangerous conditions, the Coast Guard decided a boat rescue wouldn't be possible. So they sent Petty Officer 3rd Class Branch Walton, a rescue swimmer, to carry out the mission. But then this happened.
I kind of got thrown around a little bit by the wave. And then when I came up, I noticed that the boat was pretty much in shambles and kind of split in two.
Despite the rogue wave and capsized vessel, Walton reached the survivor.
As soon as I got up, I let the helicopter know that I was okay. Just started looking around immediately, and it worked out perfectly.
After crews pulled the man to safety, he was taken to the hospital. The Coast Guard posted the videos and this picture. And from there, it didn't take long for people in the community to make the connection. The person rescued was the same man accused of putting a fish on the porch of the Goonies house 2 days earlier, Jericho Labani.
One of my buddies was like, dude, you will not believe what just happened. Like, check this out.
The new owner of the Goonies house, Bayman Zachary, isn't surprised when people stop by, but he was surprised to see this.
But he pulls out this gigantic, like, fish that obviously is not alive and just places it. And, you know, being from Kansas City, like, you got to wonder, you know, is the guy sending a message that I'm going to be sleeping with the fishes or something, you know?
Fast forward to Friday. Astoria Police Chief Stacy Kelly explained they were piecing all this together when they got a call from the Coast Guard.
Connections were being made that it was the same person and that he was at the hospital. And by the time we got involved, he'd been released from the hospital. What we've since found out is that he had taken the sandpiper from the West End Basin, which is at the port of Astoria.
Around 7:30 Friday night, officers arrested Labani at a warming shelter in Seaside on charges of theft, endangerment, and unauthorized use of a vehicle.
Now, what kind of story is this, man? This twists and turns everywhere.
An awesome story because it involves the Goonies. You know, I have a Google alert set up for Goonies.
Did this go off with it?
Yes.
No, I've never seen the Goonies. I don't know the story.
No. Okay.
Is a dead fish part of it?
No. You need to stop the podcast right now and you need to go watch the Goonies. I will wait and come back 90 minutes from now and we can continue.
Oh, no.
It's important. It is important for you to watch the Goonies. It is a fantastic movie. You will completely resonate with it because they are our age. Well, they're my age or younger than I am. It's honestly one of my favorite movies of all time.
I'll get to it.
All time.
No dead fish in the movie then.
Fantastic. No dead fish. I don't know. This guy just seems like he was a little bit maybe not all together there. So, but yeah, that's a crazy story. Have you ever been up to that part of the world, the coast of Oregon?
Yeah.
Have you been to Astoria?
Yeah, I used to live in Portland for a couple years, so I went to Astoria because I was really into that Atari's album, and I was a big fan of the Atari. So Long Astoria. It was was written around there and stuff, and they have the most interesting coastline where you have to walk quite a ways to get to the shore. in some places. And while you're maybe I just went there on low tide or something, but it's just not cliffy like our coast is, and it's foggy and just a whole different universe up there.
No, there are some areas with cliffs. They do have a lot of sand dunes. There is like Sand Dunes National Park and stuff.
It has a train ride. It has an old train that goes through the town. And when you go on the train ride, it's like $6 and it goes like 4 miles. But it's an old line, and they point out the Goonies house because you can see it on the side of the hill. And the water tower and a couple other things, can't remember. But it's a very nice little town. But it reminds me of like San Luis Obispo, you know?
Yeah, just way cooler. They have really good beer up there too, and some good food. I actually did the truffle shuffle in front of the Goonies house. I'll send you that video at some point. That was a fun time.
Awesome.
But okay, so the coastline, the Columbia River going out past Astoria, Washington's on the other side. That is a huge river mouth, right? It's not small, and it is. You just watch the waves, and it does look pretty rough out there, even on the best of days. It's pretty crazy out there. So watching the video of this rescue, you see the waves just like batter this boat. It's nuts. So if you haven't seen the video, go check it out. But what's up with the crazy people putting our professionals in harm's way just because they want to, like, I don't know, have a joke or do a TikTok or something like that? We got to get away from that. Like, there are other way more important things that these emergency personnel need to be doing than rescuing your weird, I don't know, fish toting personage. I don't know.
We will definitely find out more about this story as the days go on, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure, because it's going to just keep popping up on my
right now
Google alert.
Yeah, we've got 2 puzzle pieces. We don't have the big picture yet. We'll fit more later. All right, more news. Well, doctors are sounding the alarm when it comes to marijuana edibles, as too many people are ending up in the hospital because they underestimated the potency of pot. Here's more.
From cannabis-infused soft drinks to red velvet and pecan shortbread cookies to assorted flavor candy drops, even gelato sour gummies. Weed edibles are a booming business in this country, averaging $1.38 billion a year.
A lot of people feel like their muscles are super relaxed.
Danielle Bancroft is the manager at Exotics on Highland, a dispensary that sells a large variety of edibles.
This would be a sativa, and then this would be a hybrid. So if you're looking for like a balanced high, if you experience pain, but you're not really looking to fall asleep, a hybrid would be nice.
But not knowing exactly what you're buying and the dose of each edible could land you in the emergency room.
It's definitely something that we're seeing more frequently now compared to, say, 4 or 5 years ago.
Dr. Michael Levine is a medical toxicologist at UCLA Medical Center. He says the number of people rushing to the emergency room because of a bad experience with marijuana use is growing. And surprisingly, the people most affected are senior citizens.
They're becoming unsteady and they're falling and they're breaking a hip, or they're hitting their head, or they're having some other injury that is a result of their being unsteady as a result of eating the cannabinoid.
A new study by the University of California, San Diego revealed cannabis-related ER visits between 2005 to 2019 increased a whopping 1,800% among Californians over the age of 65.
The potency of marijuana that is being consumed now is very different than the potency of marijuana that was consumed in the 60s or 70s.
The Department of Health and Human Services recently reported that marijuana currently cultivated and sold contains 3 times more THC compared to levels 25 years ago.
A big issue is a lot of people don't know dosing. So they tend to overconsume, and then they have a very bad experience.
And if a person is on certain medications, marijuana edibles can cause a problem.
If you are taking anything that's a blood thinner, or if you are on diabetes medication, oral CBD will have an adverse effect on that pharmaceutical medication. Basically, your body can't regulate the pharmaceutical, and some people can have an overdose or very adverse effects.
To make sure you won't have any problems, you should first consult with your doctor before trying edibles. And if it is your first time, whether it's for recreational or medicinal purposes, you should start out small, perhaps a 5 milligram dose.
If you've never experienced edibles before, I always tell everybody to do a little bit of research before you come in. A big thing is asking questions. Sometimes the older generations, they can be a little uncomfortable or almost embarrassed to ask questions, but that's really what we're here for.
Based on the patients Dr. Levine has seen in the emergency room, he says everyone, especially the elderly, needs to be cautious when ingesting these edibles.
If you're doing it recreationally, I think you really need to assess, is this something that's worth the risks? And people need to understand that it really does have risks.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was such a hit piece on edibles, because I don't know if you heard all the doom and gloom music happening around that whole thing. But I don't know. I've never had a problem. Have you or anybody you know had a problem with it? Or do you not want to tell me?
No, it's okay. The first thing is these people are not overdosing on marijuana. Okay, they're not overdosing on THC. What's happening is they take too much and they get too stoned, and then they have a panic attack and they freak out. Because they haven't felt like that before. So yeah, this is just like you said, it's doom and gloom. It's not. This is so what? Oh man, because I've been in this situation, not personally, but I've seen people do this. Like they. Okay, so what happens, I think, is a lot of people, like, they take an edible and then they wait like 15 minutes and then nothing happens. They're like, oh, I don't feel anything,
I'll take 3 more.
Exactly. So did you ever see The Wolf of Wall Street with Leo? Okay, remember that scene where he and Jonah Hill are taking the Quaaludes from like the 60s? And, like the potency is still there, but they were told that like it might take longer to hit. And so like they take these Quaaludes and after about 30 minutes, nothing happens. And so they each down like 3 more. And then they get on the treadmills and they start running because they're like, oh, we got to get our metabolism going. Oh, we just, get our blood running. Then it's going to get through our system a little faster. Right. So then like a half hour after that, then it just like it all hits them all at once. And then you see them like moving really slowly like this. That's what happens with people and edibles. They like take one, nothing happens for 15 minutes. They take 2 more, nothing happens for another 15 minutes. They take another one. And then at the hour point, then it all hits all at once. And they just like fall on the floor because they're just like that stoned.
That's dangerous.
It's dangerous. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't be if you haven't done the edibles thing before, maybe you've smoked pot before.
Consult your doctor. Yeah. She said
like that.
that.
Consult your doctor.
I'm going right to my surgeon.
You don't consult a surgeon for that. Go to your general practitioner. My doctor is actually really, really cool. And I could talk to her about stuff like this. She is definitely really, really stoked about people quitting smoking of cigarettes. And she's like, I don't really care about pot.
Nice.
So, yeah, all I'm saying is if you're going to experiment with something like that, do it in a safe spot and maybe sit down until, you got to figure out the effects. Don't be like getting up and falling down and then breaking a hip. That's bad.
Yeah. If you take an edible and you listen to the Barry Funkhauser show and it feels like a minute has gone by, you should just hang out and not do anything else for the rest of the day.
That's great. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Take Barry's advice.
Take my advice and have one on me. Have one for me, I mean. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. This is the Barry Funkhauser Show.